Guys, you don't know how giddy I am about doing this. This is so, no, you didn't understand. Like, the entire drive up here, I was like, I can just nerd out about these, like, cool things of Final Fantasy VII for like an hour. Oh, man, it's so great. So I'm really happy you're all here. Thank you for coming. Let's get started. It's gonna be good. Okay, so folks, I really don't know very many of you here. I know a few. But here's the thing. I don't know all of you. I don't know if you're musicians. I don't know if you've studied music theory. I don't know any of those things. But what I do know is that you're all really good at listening to music emotionally. You're all really good at it. You can all tell me whether you like something or dislike something. You can all tell me whether it makes you happy or sad, excited or forlorn, or anxious or relaxed. All those things. You can tell me all those things if I just play you something. And you don't have to know any music theory to be able to do that, right? So, to me, there are two kinds of listening. Number one is emotional listening, like we just discussed. And it's understanding how music makes us feel, right? And again, like I said, like, dislike, I said, all that. You can all do that. The other kind of listening is analytical listening, okay? And this is understanding how and why musical elements elicit emotional reactions. Understanding how and why musical elements elicit emotional reactions. And the way we do that is through understanding music theory, okay? So, quick question. How many of you do know some music theory? Oh, okay, all right. It's a fair amount of you. But here's the thing, and that's wonderful. A lot of this will be very easy for you to understand. But really, I was trying to make this presentation for everybody, okay? I'm trying to make this accessible for everyone. So I'm going to keep all of my explanations as simple as I possibly can, even if we're talking about some more complicated things. So here's a good way to look at music theory. If you don't know music theory, simply, it's a way to categorize sounds we already emotionally understand. It's a way to categorize sounds we already emotionally understand. You guys all know how to listen to music emotionally, and all we're doing is giving those things a name. That's all we're doing in music theory. Just a way to categorize things. You have to remember is that sound and emotion are the things that come first. What we call them came after the fact. The chords, the sounds, the melodies, all of those things existed already. And then we just gave them names with music theory. Cool? We all clear so far? This is good? Great. Moving on, our goal and our method to reach that goal. So, our goal is we want to bridge the gap between our emotional and our analytical understanding of music. For those of you, again, who don't know music theory, this is what that's all about. We're going to try to bridge that gap. We're going to try to get you to understanding a little bit more about the actual technical process that goes into composing the music and why things are interesting. And doing this, we're going to appreciate music on a deeper and more well-rounded level. And I think that's a great goal for us all. Yeah, I think so. So what I'm going to be asking you guys to do as we listen to these examples, is I want you to find what we call ERMs, or what I like to call ERMs. And ERM is an eyebrow-raising moment. What is an eyebrow-raising moment? Well, it is a musical moment that elicits a physical or emotional reaction. And I mean, for me especially, like if I hear something that really just like punches me in the gut, it feels like it punches me in the gut, or it's like, oh, like there's something about it that elicits that reaction, and that's what we're trying to find. So these are generally caused by the composer subverting musical expectations. So generally speaking, we have musical expectations where we're expecting certain notes to play, or based on the key that we're in, or we're expecting to hear certain rhythms based on the type of song that we're listening to, or various things like that. And you'll see a lot of these where we're expecting something, and that doesn't happen at all. And when something like that happens, usually the emotional reaction is to have this eyebrow-raising moment, because our expectations are being subverted. Okay? Is this clear? All good? Way in the back? Hey! All right, good. Okay, cool. So to do this, these are kind of what I want you guys to do. So as I said, I want to make this as accessible as I can for everyone. And if I just talked in musical theory terms, I'd lose 90% of you, and I don't want to do that. That's not cool. That's not fun for either of us. And so what we're going to do is, while you're listening to each piece of music, I'm going to ask you to imagine that you're driving on a road. And I want you to ask yourself some questions. Number one, is the road bumpy or smooth? Okay? Are you driving fast or slow? Are you going uphill or are you going downhill? Is the road curved or is it straight or is it really jagged? Right? Secondly, what kind of landscape is it? Are you in the mountains? Are you on the plains? Are you in a desert? Are you in a city? Think about where you would be. As you're listening to the tune, think about these things. What is the road like? Where are you? What's the weather like? Is it cloudy? Is it rainy? Is it sunny? Is it, what? What is it? What's the atmosphere like? Are there any colors? Are you thinking of any, does the music cause you to think of a specific color? And I would say, most importantly, do these things change over time? And if they change over time, do they change over time or do they happen suddenly? Right? Is it a sudden drastic change in that picture in your mind? Okay? Cool. And so the goal here is I want you to be able to remove yourself from the game and focus on the music itself. Because I know I'm sure everybody here really loves Final Fantasy VII. Yeah, I know. And that's great. That's wonderful. And I'm sure with a lot of these tunes, I'm going to play it and you're instantly going to be transported to that moment in the game. But I want you to try to not do that. I instead want you to think of yourself on this road. I want the vision in your head to come from the music itself and not from the game developers. Okay? Cool.
It's not Final Fantasy 15, right?
What?
So imagine a road.
Oh, I know, right?
I want you to imagine going on meter as you're driving by the meter.
I'm sure. But let that happen naturally in your mind. If that happens, great, fine. I have nothing against it. But don't be like, oh, this is that time when this happens in the game, so now I'm seeing that, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. So, we're going to listen to something, and I'm not even going to put up what it is, even though you're all going to recognize it, but... Okay. All right, so let's just listen. Okay, so who can tell me about the road? What are they seeing? Yes, Miss. I can't see you. Yes.
Okay. So I picture a fairly open, clear, sunny road.
Okay.
But as it goes on, and as one continues driving, you see hills in the distance.
Okay, hills in the distance. All right. Okay, I can see that. You raised your hand first. Yes.
Yep. I saw kind of a similar thing, like a rural landscape.
Okay. Cool. Rural. Did anybody else see rural? Okay. Fair amount of people. Yes. Prompt us.
I got a lot of like soft, warm sunrise tones.
Okay.
In addition
Yeah.
to the,
Did they stay the same the whole time?
yes,
Okay.
very slow sunrise tones.
Awesome. Any more? Stephanie.
I thought the sunrise thing too, and I was just noticing those chords in the background that are nice and low, but they let you know that everything is going to be nice and smooth and like, it's nice.
Okay, cool. One more. Yes.
Imagining study atmosphere like everyone else, but kind of looking over an ocean, like from the cliffsides.
Okay. So number one, I think it's really interesting that we're all kind of seeing something similar, right? I think that's pretty interesting. So let's talk about this piece itself and talk about a little bit of why maybe we're feeling some of those things. And there's one particular moment that I'm interested. I think the hills kind of caught on to it. I think that's where it is. But here, let's talk about this a little bit. So this is the main theme for Final Fantasy VII. For those of you who don't know, which is nobody. And this tune is in the key of C. Oh, does anybody have perfect pitch? Oh, good, great, perfect. Okay, that's good. Yes. I mean, sure. Okay. So this tune is in the key of C. And what you'll notice is if we just look at the melody, the notes that are going there, all of these notes are within the key of C. We have the key of C up here, right? I like a little laser pointer, isn't that cool? Okay. And C, D, E, F, G, A, and B. So like if you've ever played the piano and you've only played the white keys, you are playing in the key of C. Those are just all the white keys. There's no sharps or flats, or in other words, no black keys. Okay? Good? And if we look at the melody, we see that all the notes in the melody that we've heard so far are all in the key of C. And that's a word that we like to call diatonic in the music theory world. When all the notes are in the key that we're in. There's no random sharps or flats or anything like that. All the notes in the melody are in the key of C. Okay? And so, as I said, there's one moment, and I think it's where we're kind of feeling hills, or to me, it's like something big. To me, it's like I'm driving on the road, and then all of a sudden, there's kind of a big curve, like around something that's large. Does anybody else feel that? Does anybody else kind of see that? So that moment, to me, that is what I would call the eyebrow-raising moment. And that happens because of the chords that we have. So chords, I assume most people know what chords are, but if you don't, we've seen a bunch of great musicians here all weekend, and I'm sure you've seen a guitarist play the guitar and sing at the same time, right? So they're singing the melody, and they're playing the chords on the guitar, right? So a chord is when we have three or more different notes played at the same time. And if we look at these chords that we have the chord C major in the first measure, right here, and it has the notes C, E, and G, which again, if we just look back at our key, C, E, G, have those notes, that's not going to cause anything to happen because it's diatonic, right? In bar 2, we have an A minor, we have A, C, E. Well, that's not going to do anything either, okay? Bar 3, C major again, okay? But here, in bar 4, A flat major, whoa! The notes in that are A flat, C, and E flat. Well, now 2 of those are not in our key, right? They are non-diatonic notes. They are what we call chromatic notes, okay? And also we get a B flat major chord, and that has one note, the B flat, that's not in the key of C. So that's the moment that really pops out to us. And we're going to listen back to this in a second so you know what you're listening for and you know what's about to happen. Now, music theory people, quick question. Is there anybody who can tell me what that would be called? Like when we have yes.
It's like a borrowed chord.
A borrowed chord, yeah. That would be one way to call it. Anybody else? Modal mixture, yeah. Anybody else? Yes.
It's like a minor substitution.
Yeah, okay.
C major to C minor.
Yeah, yeah. It's all of those things. But here's the thing, guys. This is we can call it all of those things. All of those are accurate. But what it really comes down to is they're notes that we didn't expect. That's all it is. They're notes we didn't expect, because the expectation, based on the first three measures of music, is that we are in the key of C major. We have C, B, G, A, C, E, all the notes in the key of C major, and then all of a sudden, there's an A flat, there's an E flat. That pops out. Yes, sir?
How come there's no E flat or C?
No, because that, so this is okay. If you guys haven't seen a thing like this before, that's totally fine. So when we have like C right here, like this C right there, that is telling us that is a C major chord, just because it says C. So C, E, G, those are the notes in that chord. So just like right here, it's an A flat major chord, and the notes there are A flat, C, and E flat.
Yeah, but I don't see E flat on the G.
No, because this is the melody. The melody, again, so the melody is diatonic. There's no flats or sharps, nothing. Everything's in the key of C. The chord, A flat major, has an A flat and an E flat. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Beautiful. So what I like so much about this example is that right after we hear it the first time, we get the exact same melody the second time. You guys can see that this is exactly the same melody here as here. But the big difference is, in bar 8, right here, we get an F major chord versus the A flat major to the B flat major chord. So here is going to have a different emotional reaction. So let's listen to this again, and let's just try to hear the two different things that happen. It's the same melody, but the chords are changing, and that's creating that eyebrow-raising moment. So did you feel how different that was the second time? Like, it's still, like, it's the same melody, but the chord is what it completely changes the emotional feeling right there. Cool? Good? All right, let's go on to something else. Show you what it is. I just want you to listen. Okay, let's listen. Imagine a road. Here we go. The road. Okay, somebody. Yes, sir.
Feels like I'm weaving through traffic.
Weaving through traffic. Okay, that's great. I love that. Yes, sir. You.
Same with the traffic. Like I'm trying to beat the clock. Like a meeting's about to happen. I'm trying to get somewhere.
Beat the clock. I love that. I love it. Yes, sir.
I was kind of saying the traffic thing, and then I kind of saw more of a car chase.
Okay.
You're in and out, but you're also being chased.
All right. I'll buy that. Yes.
I'd say I'm having a blizzard.
Okay. Blizzard. Okay, I like this. Way in the back, you missed.
Instead of a blizzard, I actually pictured a thunderstorm.
Thunderstorm. Okay. Yes, sir.
I see spikes.
Spikes. Okay. Well, one more. Right. But yeah.
I see like you drive next to a cliff and it's like rocks start tumbling down.
Okay, yeah, I love that. I love that.
Car, I imagine someone on rollerblades being really paranoid about potholes.
Okay.
It's the same sort of like skittering around things, and you're just thinking yourself, one wrong move and I am arse over tea kettle.
Yeah. No, I love it. Guys, this is wonderful. This is wonderful. You're doing a great job. This is great. Okay, so the first question is here. Well, here, I'm going to show you the title, and this is so perfect. literally the title. Okay, so we're gonna talk about there's a million things you can talk about with this tune, but we're gonna talk about the rhythm, and that's gonna be it. Unfortunately, we just don't have enough time. Who can tell me what common time is? Who can tell me what common time is? Yes, sir.
4 quarter notes per bar?
Yeah, so 4 quarter notes per bar, or 4 beats per measure. If you guys have heard something, if you guys turn on the radio and hear something that's boom, crack, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Basically, everything you're going to listen to on the radio, if it's a pop song, I can almost guarantee you it's in 4/4 times. And so much so that we just call it common time, because it's the most common of the times. Okay. Now another question for somebody else. Who can tell me what typically, like if I just had like a pop song on or something, how long would each section be? Like typically, like if we're talking about like the verse would be how many bars? 8 bars, right? Okay. So yeah, usually sections in like pop music are like 4 bars or 8 bars or maybe 16 bars or something like that. But something divisible by 4. That's usually what we see. Okay, and we can already see a couple weird things then. Things that are subverting our expectations. Things that it's getting away from what we're used to hearing, right? We can already see the A section is in 6/4 time. So each measure has 6 beats. Each measure has 6 beats. And the other kind of strange thing about it is that the section itself is 6 bars long. That's kind of strange. That's a little weird. And it's going to get weirder, but we're going to take it step by step. So let's just listen to just the A section, and I will count out loud so we can all kind of get on the same page with that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You guys feel that? Kind of, yeah, it is almost like crazy waltz. Yeah. So as I said, it's about to get stranger. So just check it out. So this is going to be wild. So now the B section. Okay, the B section, we have 2 bars of common time, 2 bars of 4/4, right? Followed by 3 bars of 7/4. Okay, so 2 bars of 4/4, 3 bars of 7/4, and check out the section length. That's only 5 bars. So again, we were just talking 4, 8, 16 bar sections, and now we have a 6 bar section and a 5 bar section with mixed meters, with mixed time signatures. We have 6/4, 4/4, and 7/4. This is getting strange, right? So let's listen to just the B section, and let's do the same thing. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So pretty strange. 2 bars of 4, 3 bars of 7. Great. So let's jump over to the C section. Holy crap, what's going on? So now the C section, we have 3 bars of 7/8. Okay, so before we were going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We now have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay? So we have 3 bars of 7/8, and then 2 bars of common time. Like, here's a bone. Yeah. So, and it goes twice. So it's 5 bars times 2. So it's a 10 bar section. What the hell, right? Okay. So let's check this out. Okay. Whoa, wild, right? Okay, so the D section gets us kind of back to normal-ish. We're back to 6/4, which we've heard for a while in the A section and everything. And yeah, I mean, now what we call the phrase lengths are kind of strange. Now we have a 5-bar phrase followed by a 7-bar phrase. I don't know, man. I didn't write it. But you gotta see, it's perfect for like, hurry up. Oh, that's perfect, right? This is exactly what it is. So let's check out the D section. Here we go. Let's listen. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 3, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 4, Okay, and we're at the top. Yeah. So, let's try to listen to this entire thing. And let's just try to listen to this entire thing and follow along with that stuff, and I will try to count along. It's, it's a toughie. Okay, here we go. So this is the whole thing. The form is A, B, A, B, C, D. So we'll hear the A section, then the B section, A section again, B section again, and then go on to C and D. Okay? Here we go. Let's give it a listen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 2, 3, 5, back to A. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 3, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2, 3, Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. Okay. Let's go. We already got a sneak peek, but let's listen to this one. Okay, so going on to the next one. Here we go. Oh, this one's so fun, guys. So much cool shit. Here we go. Okay, road. Yes, sir. You got your hand up. Here we go.
So I'm seeing a lot of swerves to like the left.
Swerves. Love it. Okay. Yes.
Like going up and down.
Up a mountain. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, I'm going like up a mountain as well, but like, sort of like when it's elevated, it goes up and hill.
Okay.
It's sort of like, go on a flat land and it goes up again.
I love that. I love that. That's wonderful. So like up, flat,
Yeah.
up. Okay. I love that. I love it so much. Yes, knock this.
Problem is, there's a flood in the Georgia's house here. You have to switch where you're going.
You okay? Yeah, gotta switch where you're going? Yeah, I love it. I love it. Yes, sir. Car chase. Okay, car chase. Yeah. Everything's a car chase. That's what we're learning.
Like, I don't know if you remember
are like the deadliest roads with trucks, trying to drive trucks through like narrow passes. That's why they like driving up a mountain, you know, going that narrow passes, trying to slide around things quick.
That's great. No, exactly. The ice road truckers, right? Yeah, perfect. Okay, folks. This tune is called Those Who Fight, right? And we are in the key of A minor. So we're expecting to see are the notes A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. That's what we're expecting to see, right? That's what we want to see. Okay, here we go. So right at the top, we have 3 A's, right? We haven't heard anything yet. And then the second measure, we have A's, yeah, we have A, B, G, okay. But then B flat. Whoa! B flat? Where's that coming from? We're expecting a B, not a B flat. That's what? Excuse me? Excuse me? Okay, so here's the thing. What happens right there, it's like our first jab in the gut. So we're getting this interval between, an interval is just the space between 2 notes. If I play a low note and play a high note, you have an interval, right? So this is between an A and a B flat. And this is what it sounds like. So. Okay, so you guys feel that? You guys feel that like just, oh, like it's what we call in music dissonant, okay? Very crunchy, very harsh, and just, ooh. They do, absolutely. So any music theorists want to tell us what that interval is? Yes?
All right, so it's a minor second or a flat 9.
Yeah, or a minor 9. Yeah, all acceptable. For us non-theorists, it's just a very dissonant, very crunchy interval. And so here's the thing. This is why I got a kick out of it. I was making this the other day, and I thought this was really funny. So this is how it sounds. This is how this top line, sounds slowly. Here, we're gonna play it slow, fast, and then in context. So here's slow. Okay, that's already kind of dark sounding, right? So this is what's like the actual tempo. Okay, and now let's listen to it. This is how it would sound in context. So listen for that little crunch of that minor 9th. Oh, you feel that? Yeah. So that's what's happening right at the top, and that is the moment that we're like, okay, this is dark and stormy. This is harsh. Now check this out, just for point of to see how it would sound if it was diatonic, if all the notes were in the key of A minor. Let's just change that B flat to a B, and let's just see what happens. Okay? So this is it slow. What? Okay. Okay. What? Like, that's so lame, right? Like, it doesn't convey the same thing emotionally that the B flat does, right? We can all agree? Yes? Okay. Wonderful. So let's jump over to the next section. So this is why I so loved the description, because at the beginning part we have that harsh, almost going uphill feeling to it, and then it flattened out, right? And so this is what I think you're feeling is the flattening out. So we look here and we plop in our notes. It's the same 5 notes, or 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 notes. So the same 6 notes 3 times, right? A, B, C, D, E, G, A, B, C, D, E, G, A, B, C, D, E, skips out on the G the last time. And so all those notes are in the key of A minor. But check out this out too. So all the chords are also in the key of A minor. A, C, E in the key of A minor. F, A, C in the key of A minor. D, F, A, key of A minor. So all of that, none of it's going to hit us in the gut because it's all just diatonic. It's all in the key, right? Cool? This making sense? Cool, wonderful. To that last section, and this has a lot of notes, as we can see. There's a lot of notes up there, but we're not gonna worry about all these different notes. I'm actually only going to worry about 2 different notes. And that is these 2 right there. And that's that A and that E flat. Who can tell me what that is? What theorist out here? What? Okay. What can you tell me what those 2 notes? What that interval is?
Tritone.
Tritone. Yes. And the church choices. A tritone. Okay. So we have this tritone, right? Boom, tritone. Okay, so let's, just so we know what that sounds like and what you're all talking about when you say a tritone, is a very dissonant interval, a very crunchy interval. Let's hear how it sounds. Ooh! Right? That's crunchy. That's crunchy. So we get this really crunchy interval right there, and then we just slam on it. So that, and then to almost like to add insult to injury, we get a B flat. Okay, so we get all these super crunchy notes. So let's just listen to this one more time, and I want you to try to pay attention to. I know I'm asking a lot of you, but I want you to try to just follow these different things. Listen for that flat 9 in the first bit. Listen for when we get to the second half, how everything just kind of stays where it is because there's not a whole lot of movement it's all diatonic and there's not a whole lot of movement in the melody. And then when we get to that last section, that tritone, it's not even like you need to know what the notes are. You can just feel that, it just hits you. Okay, so let's listen to that. Here we go. Oh, you feel that? Oh, it's just so quick. Nothing is hitting us. Oh, did you feel that? Oh, did you feel that? Oh, it just irks you. It's perfect. It's perfect fight music. Okay, we're gonna move on to our next one. Now, this one I just thought was so interesting, so we're just gonna have fun. Here we go. The road, guys. Oh, and the hands come up. I love it. Yes.
Driving down an idyllic country road while heavy machinery digs up the earth in the background.
I love that so much. I love that so much. Yes.
I feel like I'm driving a clown car.
Way in the back though. Yes. Yeah, you got it.
There is no road, there's just a path through a magical forest.
Okay. There is no road. The road is a lie. Yes.
I'm seeing kind of either like a junker or like a stick shift where the clutch really sticks a lot, so you can kind of.
Okay. Yes, sir.
I'm actually on like more of a roller coaster, and like it's just like blinky lights. Like I can't make out what's going on. It's like blinky lights. A clown pops out here. It's all meant to be pleasant, but it's so much I don't like it.
Oh my God! This is so perfect. Okay. Thank you guys. Thank you for participating. I really appreciate it. Okay. So I love it so much because when I first heard this, the feeling I got was discomfort. And everything seemed like it was fine, like on the surface, but underneath that, it's not. Okay, do you know does anybody know what this is for?
Honeybee Inn.
Honeybee Inn, which is what? A brothel! Guys, how perfect is that? How perfect is that? So let's talk about... It's that kind of panel. It's past 6 o'clock. It's that kind of panel. Okay, so folks, let's talk about why we feel that way. This is what this is about. So we have, first we have this kind of like clock sound, right? The tick-tock, that thing. And it's, what's going on there is we have the notes E and F, and E and F are, they're right, if you ever played on a piano, they're right next to each other. E and F are right next to each other, and so what they're doing is playing E and F, and then going up to E and F. So it's these two notes just right next to each other, like a kitty on a keyboard, tapping like that. So here's how that sounds. So we have. So that's what's going on for the entire background. But you don't really notice it until you get pointed out to it. You know what I mean? That's what's happening. So if we go to our next bit, we have the melody and the strings. And the melody is perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with the melody. There's nothing chromatic or non-diatonic about it. It's all notes that are in the key, and it's just a fine little cute, nice melody, right? But then this string part. This is weird, guys. So, if usually with this kind of a part, you'd have something like right? Something like that in groupings of four. Groupings of four. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? Okay. But here, check this out. Groupings of 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So what happens there is because it's not in 4, if we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, every measure, the top note, the high note, would happen in the same place, right? It would happen in the same place every measure because it would be in groupings of 4. But because it's in groupings of 3, starts on 1, then the end of 2, then on 4, then on the end of 1. Then on beat 3. Like, what? Excuse me? What's happening right there? Right? We go to the horn line and the bass line. Okay, so this is also, I'm a bass player, for those of you who don't know. And the bass just popped out to me immediately. Because the bass, in most contexts, our expectation is that the bass is going to be on beats 1 and beats 3. So if you ever heard like dum, 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 like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, right? It would be on beats 1 and 3. If we look at oompa music, polka, folk, bluegrass, jazz, anything, bass is on 1 and 3. And what the hell do we have here? Bass on beats 2 and 4, right? Bass on beats 2 and 4. That is weird. The horn line, I don't really have too much to say about, only that this is also weird. The mix, the horn part, is in the left ear for you guys, and the bass part is in the right. Now, that's weird, especially because when we look at the percussion, our like kick drum is in the right ear, not following the bass line, which is weird, and our snare drum is in the left ear. God, this is so weird. So kick drum, for those of you who don't know, usually follows the bass. Usually would be on beats 1 and 3 with the bass. And the snare drum would be on beat 4. So like boom, tap, boom, crack, boom, crack, boom, crack. You guys have heard that a million times, I'm certain of it. But here, bass on the and of beat 2 and snare on the and of beat 4. Right? So let's listen to this. And just try to catch some of these things that are going on. It's really goofy. So here we go. God, isn't that weird? Yeah, kind of, but it's like a waltz against something in 4. Right? So, wouldn't it be funny if we like arranged it to make it sound like normal? I thought it would. So I just gotta make this just for fun. So this is kind of like as if it would be normal. So I got rid of some of this dissonant stuff. I made this into 4. I put this on 1 and 3. I put, all that. All the things I just talked about. Let's hear how that sounds, and let's compare. Okay, let's go back to what sounded right. It's freaking disoriented. So, a brothel. I think that's perfect. That's amazing. Okay. So here's the thing, guys. We have about 10 more minutes, and we should just keep going. I have another example for you guys, and I feel like we have to do it because it's that one. Let's listen to this, and I want you to still do the road, but we probably will only take a couple of them. We unfortunately can't. We don't have enough time to do everything. I really wish we did. I so wish we did. But I still want to also get to questions if you guys have any. So I'm gonna try to get through this. Okay. So here we go. Let's listen. Look at that road. Just a couple. Yes.
I kind of picture you're a long-haul trucker, you've hit like a grade 9 incline downhill, and your brakes have given out. Swerve around traffic till you finally get to one of those safety ramps.
Okay, swerving and safety ramp. I like that. I like that a lot. Yes, sir, yes.
Okay, dead of night, trees seem like hands about to grab you, something feels like it's on your tail, suddenly you're going downhill, you're about to hit a bridge that's out on a ramp, you go straight over, it's like linger for a second, but it jumps over with you and just keeps coming. Oh my god.
Yeah, I really love how we're all kind of like on the same page, basically. That's so cool. Like, that's so cool. Yeah. One more. Last one. Yes, you can get it.
So you're on a motorcycle barreling down a dark highway in a cyberpunk future. All of a sudden, you got rival gangs coming up behind you, and you're trying to fight them off, but then you're joined by a friendly coupe that's all modded up to be bristling with machine guns. But then comes up with a similar car. That comes up right after your friend comes along.
Yeah. That's so great you don't even know. Okay, so you do know. Okay, so I'm going to try to get through this reasonably quickly. So the thing I want to focus on here is the key changes. The key changes, folks. The opening bit is in the key of D minor. The intro is, we have it right here. That bit. That's in the key of D minor. The key of 1 flat. Okay? When we get to the A section, that bit, we have it first in the key of D minor, but then we have it in the key of F minor. So we go from being in a key with 1 flat to being in a key with 4 flats. That's that jarring one of those swerves that we're talking about right there. Because it goes da 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 do do do. I don't want to sing it. I know what it is. That's weird. So, then we have the B section, which changes key again, going from the key of F minor to the key of A minor, so no sharps and flats. So 4 flats to none, and then play, so what's cool here is we have the same melody twice each time. This melody is also interesting because it's like the opposite of what happens here. This one goes up, right? And then this one goes down. Kind of see that? It's pretty cool. So, the B section, same thing happens. We have the melody in one key, and then we change key and play the melody in a different key. So let's listen to that. Okay? It's the C section. Right? So now we're in all these minor keys, right? And all of a sudden we get in the key of C major. Okay? So we've gone from this darker bit to a much lighter area in the key of C major. And halfway through it, does the same idea. So plays this bit and then plays the exact same thing again, but now in a different key. Key of no flats and sharps and the key of 3 flats. Okay? Let's listen. What happens here? Oh, can we trust that? Oh, I don't know, because here's the outro or turnaround, where we're kind of in the key of C major. We're kind of setting up the key of C major, and we kind of make it there, but now instead of it just being straight up C major, it's C major with a flatted sixth, So there's an A flat in there too. So that's that little crunch we hear once we finally make it to the ending here. Right here. Yeah, okay, cool. So that takes care, that's Genova. Now, for you to take home with you. Now you try. So as you listen to any soundtrack, find the ERMs. Find the eyebrow-raising moments. Find those things that are like, whoa, wait, what just happened there? And when you do that, research why it occurs. And there is a lot of resources out there. If you just check out, there's a lot of sheet music online. There's a lot of analysis. There's a lot of analysis videos on YouTube and things like that. There's a lot of resources available to you. And if you can't figure it out, ask for help. You can reach out to a teacher, a musician friend of yours, or even me. So if you want to reach out to me, my Twitter and Instagram is @MusicOnTheDlo, and my YouTube channel is MusicOnTheDlo. You can reach out to me in any of those places, and I'm happy to help you figure out various music theory things or anything you want to talk about. And for extra points, check out my band. My band is called DLC Music. We play K-pop. We play video game music. And you can find us on Twitter and Instagram at DLC Music Chicago. And our YouTube is DLC Music Chicago. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.